Hello everybody and welcome to the Blizzard Arena here. That was a short break after our first match, but Hex, we're going to be getting into the second one in just a few moments.
This is a very quick match, a whole lot of playoff implications we'll go through as we round out week 4 of stage 4. How time has flown this year. And we've got a matchup between the Hangzhou Spark, who are still trying to lock in where they're going to be in the playoffs, and Dallas, not mathematically eliminated, but when I watch this team, I feel like they're emotionally eliminated.
Exactly. They've had such a rough stage so far. When it started to look up, stage 2 and 3, you were seeing progress and good changes there, and stage 4 has just gone completely against them. 10-15 their record right now. It's a bit brutal.
I believe they're on a 9-game losing streak, so at some point you just got to crack that and maybe start looking forward to next year. The odd thing about Dallas is they've hung with some top teams. I think they took New York to 5, they played the Los Angeles Gladiators to 5. There's been some other really abysmal results from them sprinkled in there, so I think they're just kind of looking forward to next year. Even if they lose today, they're not mathematically eliminated, but when you really start looking at the numbers of it, Dallas is probably out of it. Meanwhile, the Spark at 15-10 have been on a bit of a slide of their own, but they need to win this one to stay in the top 6 conversation.
Yeah, and the top 6 gets you straight into the playoffs, and that's why you want to stay there. Get into the top half of these top 12, and you will definitely be feeling a bit better. We're going to take a look at a schedule now as well and see exactly what they've got coming at them.
Yeah, the Spark have, like I said, they've been struggling, but if you think back to like stage 3, they really struggled for a while, and then they put it together in the 3-3 compositions. Look, they lost to Atlanta, they lost to Guangzhou, they lost to New York. Those are good teams. They beat the Hunters, which is a good team that can really throw a lot of teams off. They get the Fuel, and then they round it out again with the Gladiators and Dragons. I don't know what the Spark did to our schedule makers, but it seems like all year they've had one of the toughest schedules. Early in the stages, they played San Francisco a bunch, they played Toronto, I think, twice, so the Spark have overcome what has seemed like one of the most difficult schedules that they've had, but the remaining strength of schedule not too rough. And also, Gladiators and Dragons, by the time they play, might have their spot locked up anyway.
Exactly, so we might have those matches where it's more just get it through. They did take down the Chengdu Hunters. Turns out the Hunters just Chung couldn't. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I liked it. I'm okay with it. But I like really bad jokes, so that's why we get along. Anyway, Chengdu, yeah, they're capable of beating a lot of the great teams. We loved watching the Chengdu Hunters, but Hangzhou needs to be a little more consistent in going forward, and you want to get hot at the right time going into the playoffs. They will get to the playoffs. It's just a matter of where their seeding is. And, you know, the gods have thrown them a bone today in a very soft Dallas Fuel team.
Yeah, and we actually, I mean, there are many things to talk about when we look at Dallas, Note being one of them. Doesn't really seem like we were talking about that with Boston in the prior match, you know, in terms of Boston trading away some of their talent, some of their veteran players. Note was one of those players.
This is just hard to watch. This is Rascal just harassing him, a little bit of the beam, slows him down. Note gets back into mech here. We did a great breakdown of this on our last post-game show at the end of last week. They go in here, and he gets this mech back. Goes around the corner, I think, at some point. This goes on for a very long time, by the way. Rascal actually flanks him again. That goes on for about another 30 seconds. What's interesting is, though, I think I read an article earlier today that Dallas kind of wants to rely on Note to be their leader. Because one of the big questions I have for this team is who's their leader. You look at the squad and you're like, I don't really know who their leader is. It's not Unko. Unko has kind of lost his starting spot. Maybe he'll be back today, but Harry Hook came in. Dallas is trying to figure out who's going to be on this squad next year, I think, and that's why they're running all these different starting 6 iterations.
Trying to figure out how to even end this season well, let alone getting into next year. But in order to do that, Hex, they need to be on the stage. They need to be playing. So let's go ahead and welcome to the stage the Dallas Fuel.
Still one of the most passionate fan bases in the league. Zach will be coming out first, and it looks like Timo will be following him. They're your DPS duo right there. Obviously fan favorites. They've been running a lot of different players here, so you never really know who's going to come out of the tunnel. It does seem like Unko has regained his starting 6 spot today at the very least. Maybe Harry will come in. But Dallas, they're trying everything out here. They're trying to figure it out. Like, who are our best starting 6 players? Who's going to be on this team next year? How do we win a game this year to break our terrible losing streak? This is the 6 they want to roll out with.
How do we keep it together exactly so that we don't just implode or explode? One or the other is what's going to happen here with the Dallas Fuel if they keep this up. It's an emotional team. It's a tough team to be on right now. Taimu actually took a little bit of flack as well for that, took it to social media. I mean, that's probably why we're seeing him on the stage right now. Because you have some of these players, they've been relegated to the bench, and they've been relegated to the bench the entire time. Pine is one of them. But let's go ahead and get their opponents out onto the stage now. Let's welcome the Hangzhou Spark.
I think you better bow down.
Still one of the best opening songs that we have racing our Overwatch league here. Hangzhou Spark have a lot of different players that they can rely on, but for the most part, they've run a very similar starting six. Godspeed bringing up the rear here. He's had an up and down year. His Zarya was questionable, then it got really good. I've always known him as a very good damage dealer, so we'll see if he can bust that out. I once watched him stream, and he was playing Genji versus a standard 3-3, and he crushed that team on a Genji on 3-3. Yes, that's ladder, and yes, it's a little bit different, but still, he's got the goods, is all I'm saying about Godspeed.
He's always got that aim. Ever since the beginning, it's been a joy to watch him. We've got Adora, who'll be starting as the other damage dealer here, so we'll see. There's been a lot of focus in Stage 4 on the pair, the duo, who actually get to play damage again, but then you're starting to see the teams really dominate when the duo can work together as well. Yeah. So if they're staying neck and neck in terms of performance, it's going to be really hard for Dallas to deal with them. But, you know, a little bit of info here on Godspeed. 2018 Korean Contender Champion next.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of history with a lot of the other members in this league. The Spark team was kind of constructed, cobbled together of two former Korean Contenders teams, and they worked it out. Then they add in Goo Shui, an MVP candidate as well. So Godspeed has had to pick up the other Shimada. We talked a little bit about Genji, but he's also had to pick up the Hangzhou, and he's done pretty well on it. There's a lot of players who've had to pick up Hangzhou that aren't necessarily Hangzhou players, and a lot of them are former Hitscan players, and it helps a little bit with the transition that over the years, Hangzhou arrows have just gotten faster and faster and faster. So it's almost like a hit scan arrow now.
Yeah, it's starting to get pretty similar. You got the mobility too. They've been giving them, presented by Toyota, our map set. 4 of them guaranteed for this series. Lijiang going to be our first match, or map rather, of the series. Control to kick things off, and Hex, your favorite map.
I do like me some Lijiang Tower, although I always liked it because it was a good tracer map. Haven't seen the logo played a whole lot lately here though, and it really depends. A lot of the compositions on Lijiang depend on what point you're going to start off on. Dallas with a pretty good record on this map, 2-2. Hangzhou Spark, a mere 2-4. This is a map that you see a lot, this point in particular, Night Market, you see a lot of Doomfist on. We've seen Symmetra strategies from Washington try to come in and get onto the point quickly. So kind of up in the air right now what teams are going to run. Both teams, for the moment, on a Symmetra. It seems like Fair Mercy is going to be the order of the day for Hangzhou, where Dallas going to run what is pretty much the damage goats meta, as it's been dubbed.
Exactly. I think we were the ones who were pretty much dubbing it that too, Hex. Because it really is that. It's just a full utility with the sprinkling of damage. You get that Reaper in there, you can have some fun. But Zachary, much more about the crowd control, much more about the Mei wall, cutting up, playing map editor.
Dallas finds a target all alone, and they just isolate Goo Shui. Great calling there, noticing that there's all alone out there. We can get this kill. Hangzhou will take the first point, but very likely to lose this fight without their main tank.
Yeah, it's going to be tough without a shield to hide behind. And you're already seeing Rhea having to back off. Trying to stall it out, will lose his mech, and it will be Dallas Fuel. They don't get first control, but they flip it instantly, so might as well. Hangzhou Spark not getting a whole lot done there, Hex.
It was just a really good call to ignore the Fair and Mercy in the sky as they were on the other side of the point. They noticed that all alone is Goo Shui, and he's got just Bebe in his pocket. They're trying to do that, so they just roll 6v2 over him. And I don't care how good your players are, you're not winning 6v2s.
Dora just going for some stylish play there, trying to draw attention to himself, and they are going to go on the offensive here. Dallas Fuel with Unko leading the charge. They've got the Coalescence beaming through, damage and healing, the combo, and Zachary even throwing in the Blizzard. No hesitation on the part of the Fuel here, committing ultimates to this fight to end it.
Hangzhou did take the point, but the reason was because Godspeed and IDK were just sitting there by themselves, so they leave the rest of the team in the lurch. Dallas does a great job again of identifying an advantage, identifying that, hey, there's only 4 people here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, that's in our favor, so I'm just playing this very oddly right now. Again, the Fair Mercy is just sitting on the point trying to draw Dallas back.
Note doing a lot of talking right now on the roster. Pivot OG doing a good job communicating together, both your tanks. That's pretty much the name of the game. Ultimate's online now for the Dallas Fuel as well. Taimu getting caught out. Sound barrier in time here for Closer to keep his teammates up. And now you may have an opportunity for a Blossom here. Taimu looking like he may want to set up for it. Just waiting for the Spark to commit through, but the walls are too good on the side of Dallas Fuel. They're doing a great job of just stalling this out.
Spark finally get their first 2 eliminations of the entire point so far. Still holding on though, the barrage not getting much. No, right in the perfect spot again. Godspeed will go down. During all of this, Dallas has been in control of the point, so they're getting up to that 80%, that 1 fight away kind of threshold. Meanwhile, Hangzhou still trying to pick up eliminates.
And they're doing excellent work here from Dallas. This is perhaps taking some notes on how to stall things out from the charge. But they really got a whole lot of progress, and they're still going. 93, only just now will it flip.
They can back up. It's no issue to back up right now. They can come in with Blizzard and Death Blossom. In fact, I think they should wait for Zach to maybe hit a couple of these Icicles so they can come in with Blizzard. Hangzhou finally in the position they want to be with a Fair and Mercy, having control of the point and being the aggressors now on the hold.
Adora's got his get out of jail free card ready to go, so he can get aggressive here on the Dallas Fuel whenever he wants. There it is, straight into the mix, try to knock him out of position, out from behind the barrier. Didn't look like there was going to be quite enough focus fire there to take down OG, but you got it. Kill on time as he goes for the Blossom, and Adora trying to play it safe. And he will do just that, staying alive.
A Coalescence come in, and that Death Blossom used by Taimu got absolutely nothing, so much so he's going to switch onto the McCree now. Also, they need to put some pressure right now on the Fair Mercy combo. They didn't have to when they were in control of the point because they control all the angles and you can just ignore the Fair Mercy. Now you're going to take so much entry damage, you have to do something to maybe get the Pharah to back up a little bit. Guys, we can have Barrage ready.
Oh, they're eating rockets directly here. Unko, that's a rough one. Gonna slow things down here for the Fuel, but they're at 95%. All they need to do is win this one fight here, Hex. He's starting to get into that territory as well. Yep, you can see Taimu keeping his eyes on the sky, does not want to get caught off guard here. But Godspeed's got the Barrage, and he might just try and stack himself in here for this fight. If he picks up one kill, that can make the difference. Adora goes down, though. Rhea getting frozen. There's Godspeed trying to make the play, trying to counter the Blizzard with the Barrage, but it's just too much here for the Dallas Fuel.
The Blizzard came in and opened it up for him, and now it's the tank line that actually deals with the Fair Mercy in the sky. This is where McCree can shred in these off-number situations. The Dallas Fuel end up taking the first point of Lijiang Tower, 100-97.
Yeah, you can tell Time is just ecstatic to be on the stage once again, competing in front of the fans, giving the fans a bit of a wave there. He's ready, man. He's ready, and he is hitting shots. He's hitting shots. 4 final blows for Taimu. That's solid. It's very even right now between both of these teams in terms of performance, so it could go either way.
A fan favorite for the Dallas Fuel, especially one of the last remnants of the old envious squad, which this team was built around. A team that had great deal of success as a Western team, even fighting against some of the better Korean teams in the world. Taimu's still holding on. It seems like every year Dallas Fuel move a couple of those guys to the bench or to the coaching staff, but still a couple of the guys from the old legacy holding on here, Taimu being one of them.
Oh, quick plays there with the Sims. Just getting everybody out, all TP'd up. And onto the point, Dallas Fuel looking for a repeat. Looking to lock this down. They are on map point now. It's on Hangzhou Spark now to fight back, and Hangzhou doing a good job of sticking together. Nice attempts there by Adora to cut Zachary off with the wall. But the baits are too good, and we're now getting to the point where the point's going to unlock, and this is where Dallas Fuel are trying to take the fight to him, trying to melt those shields.
The longer it goes, the better, because Unko's going to have Coalescence. He's going to outpace every other support. There it is. Immediately pop baby down.
Where's OG, though? Where's OG? OG is so low. Will somehow survive it. Excellent play coming in from 3 on the side of Dallas. They find the kills, they win the first fight, and the Hangzhou Spark getting forced back to spawn. So first control for Dallas. This time they're doing it right.
Dallas definitely seems to prefer the Moira meta. A lot of teams have gone over to the Baptiste meta, and Baptiste overall has a higher win rate in these compositions than Moira. But that's what Moira does for you, is that insanely fast ultimate charge rate means you're always going to outpace the other team if they're running a Lucio and Zen. You're just always going to have an ultimate first, and that can win you the first fight.
That's solid. That's a good use of the walls. Oh, sick wall to cut him in half, though. Dallas Fuel pounce. There's the Blizzard going to trap Hangzhou Spark at the corner, trying to make their way out, and Goo Shui just barely does it. But they find a kill, and the wall blocks him again. Zachary, he's doing a great job. You got Unko on the Moira, but you've really got Zach shining here on the Maid.
I mean, now Unko's going to have Coalescence probably for the next fight, and even though Baby and IDK got there, that means it's already 2 for 1. You had 2 ultimates by the time they get up their 1. Again, a brilliant wall from Zach on the entry and on the exit, not allowing anybody to get out of there. 60 plus and counting up for the Dallas Fuel, in a very good position economy-wise as well. Hangzhou do have a Blizzard, and that's usually the win button now when you have it and the other team doesn't, but with a Diva on the other side, as smart as Note is, you gotta be careful.
Down barrier ready as well here for the Spark. OG starts it. There's the bongos thrown down by Goo Shui as well. And now we're just going to go back and forth in terms of the ult. Baby, he knows there's no Blizzard to worry about, so he throws the trance out there. We're going to get the sound barrier thrown in as well. For both teams, very even. OG barely survives. Zachary as well. They're hanging on by a thread on the side of Dallas Fuel. finally, Taimu gets overwhelmed, but it's traded, Reaper for Reaper.
Very good support ultimates used on both sides, and Dallas doesn't necessarily want to give this up, but they can at any given time give this one up and sit at 99%, put themselves in a single fight situation. 5 members of the Fuel now retreating, waiting to regroup and reset, but Note gets taken out late. Gonna stall him out a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, super solid. And let's see it now. I mean, now you get to hold up close. This is where we got to see Mei on this point quite a bit, even in previous stages before the meta settled, because you can cut teams in half as they try to make their way through these small choke points. So a bit of experience there for Adora and Zachary. You can see it, Wall this time thrown down by Zach to make sure that his team can get in there safely. Unko gonna lead the way with the Coalescence again. It's replaced the Brigitte rally, essentially as the first ult to get used in a fight, along with the Supercharger thrown down by Goo Shui.
Just pop it in. So far, Hangzhou's done a great job of retreating, giving up some space here. It's all on Zach right now. Zach versus Rhea, mini battle happening.
Now the dual gods. He's got his get out of jail free card, but now he's got to play it safe. Taimu on the other side is going to be taking some focus, and now we're going to get the Blizzard. But Bebe was ready with the trance. He was able to farm that up fast enough, so nobody should fall in this Blizzard for the Hangzhou Spark. It's on Dallas Fuel right now. They need to find a kill, and they're going to do it. Goo Shui goes down. Adora now the one to throw in his Blizzard. Note has not been able to eat a Blizzard so far.
Dallas able to take an ultra-aggressive position after that Blizzard, even though it didn't get anything. It pushed Hangzhou all the way back in this corner.
Yeah, they've nearly got the point flipped, but now it's about winning it. It's about ending this fight. Unko working with Godsby, and there it is. Dallas Fuel looking like they're going to pick up the first map of this series. No contest, not going to happen. Dallas Fuel taking the lead over the Hangzhou Spark. The Spark have yet to find an answer.
Unko back into this lineup now after a couple of matches off, and he had himself a really good round. Maybe not loving to play the Moira, more of a mechanically gifted guy who wants to be able to play the Ana and the Zenyatta, but he played the Moira really well, did 66% of his team's healing, which you expect with the Moira, but 0 deaths for Unko in that first map.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Goo Shui.
China's best, brightest star. The man at the helm.
This guy's fat, he's a freak, honestly.
Goo Shui, meanwhile, just scattering the Valiant across the entire map.
He is an absolutely ridiculous Winston player.
It's Primal Rage's sickest I've ever seen. Goo Shui was a strange addition to the Hangzhou Spark when we first saw him.
No one really took the Chinese Overwatch scene seriously at all.
China doesn't really have the most talent in the world.
And then I think everybody knows him now because of his Overwatch World Cup performances.
This dude is phenomenal.
And everyone's like, we have to sign this guy.
为了第一次进入 OWL 这个联赛舞台的，觉得很激动、很开心吧。
But on a team that mostly speaks Korean and him being a Chinese speaker, would he be able to sort of synergize with the team in a way someone that spoke the same language?
Nobody really had large expectations of Goo Shui until they had fixed the fundamental communication issue.
主要以前在中国的时候，一般自己比较喜欢打亚服，然后亚服有很多韩国人，然后我就会一些基础的韩语嘛。 我的韩国队友会教我一些比较难一点的韩语啊，会跟他们有了很好的沟通。
Now that we're finally seeing the team click, Goo Shui has revealed himself as the championship-level caliber Winston player that we all knew he could be.
The latent effects of Adora's rally really helped Goo Shui stay durable.
I knew he was meant for greatness.
His nickname in China is the Primal Blade, and that's because his mechanics on Winston are just exceptional.
He's known for being a very aggressive Winston, and then he's especially known for his use of his ultimate.
Every single time he's popping his ultimate, I'm just beyond impressed.
He is the most aggressive Winston we may have in the Overwatch League.
一般看到别人把别人打残了之类的，都会想尽办法一定要把他杀了。
He is a ridiculous player. His primal rages, I've never seen a player who's more mechanically skilled, I think. How badass is that? That is just ridiculous, right? This guy is an absolute legend.
The Hangzhou Spark have broken our expectations of what a mixed communication roster should be able to achieve. And Goo Shui is a huge part of that.
I definitely think that Goo Shui is the most valuable player on his team. When he's on the roster, they win. When he's not, they lose. That's value to me.
Cast your vote on Twitter using #OwlMVP and the player's battle tag, or during any remaining regular season broadcast on Twitch. Voting ends on August 25th, so let your voice be heard.
There you have him, the magnificent Primal Blade himself on the main stage here.
Yeah. I actually like what his name actually means, Lonely Snow. But that's because I'm like emo, so that's fine.
I know exactly. All dressed in black, got the cash. So the voting can still go on here. The T-Mobile MVP, get in on the action, guys, and go ahead. You've got until August 25th to vote for the top 5 that have made it there. So be sure to check it out.
A mere 10 days. It's your league. Make your voice heard. Make sure you get on the Twitter. You can use the Twitch overlay to get your vote in as well. A lot of very worthy candidates. I'm going to wait until like midnight on the 25th to decide because every week someone seems to put on a really good performance and I'm like, oh, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to change my mind now.
Every time, isn't it?
Pretty much.
You are the fair weather fan.
I am mercurial, I think would be the word I would refer to myself as.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as the MVPs are concerned, it's tough to go into it because I'm really focused on the playoffs. It's all about pressure. It's all about how you handle that pressure. The playoffs are going to be cutthroat. Just get in there and who's going to be the best at that point when their team needs them most. That's what I'm waiting for.
And we'll have finals MVP as well, too. So like that will be the pressure-packed one. Well, we do have substitutions coming in.
Oh, wow. What a beard.
Teemo is leaving the stage. He will be replaced by AKM coming in for Taimu. And they've done this a lot throughout the year. They put in Taimu for one map, AKM comes in, which is weird because Taimu is the one who likes to get warmed up and he thinks he gets better as the series goes on. Coaching has taken him out in a lot of these series. We shall see. But a lot of times AKM comes in for the assault maps and we are headed to lovely Hanamura where the blossoms are in bloom.
You know, that's the thing. It's just ups and downs for you, Hex. You know, your favorite map and then your least favorite map.
I never said that. I think all maps are worthy of praise and joy. Fuel are 0-3 on Hanamura. The Spark are 3-2.
No, but why is it your favorite map, Hex? You know, why do you think that this map deserves equal praise?
This map just I find very difficult to get into second points, and it's kind of always been this area where it's a tiny small choke point, and then you've got Mei walls up there too, and I've always kind of said that to even get in to be able to fight on Hanamura, you have to use ultimates just to get in. And so that you're always behind, you have to play it so well as the offense to be able to finish out Hanamura. The first point I think is really interesting. I think the second point is just a little too choky, very difficult for teams to get in, but you know, you're rewarded for very good offenses and being able to snowball your first fight and your second one in that position. You'll see what these teams want to run. Dora on the Genji momentarily. It's kind of an interesting comp here.
You got AKM who's flying in the skies. Closer's on the Mercy. Unko blessedly gets to play the Ana, doesn't have to play the Mercy anymore. And then we'll have AKM on that Pharah. So, different approach here from the Dallas Fuel in terms of the defense. Gonna be fun to see how this pans out. Godspeed. Shotgun's not the best thing. I mean, it's not exactly duck hunting. So, not the best thing to deal with AKM.
Very interesting from the offense, though, from the Hangzhou Spark. They're going to run a Genji, Reaper, and Hammond, but they do get some really good positioning here. It's a dive-ish composition, but Goo Shui not on the Winston, just going to be on the Hammond instead. So a little bit of a mix-up here. You don't see this comp very often. Not all of these heroes play together.
That's got to be so frustrating trying to get that target surfing. Still, it's going to be Bebe going down. Oh, there's the kills coming through. There are the kills coming through here for the defense. Dallas Fuel locking it down. Hangzhou tried to make their way onto the point one after the other, and that just did not pan out. Didn't really see them like they were able to get a foothold at all up there.
Well, it looks like a couple of them are going to try to reset. IDK does not end up resetting. Adora is still in here on the Genji. He's going to bail out last second. Back to the drawing board. Adora is nearing the Blade. Maybe they're going to wait on that one.
Yeah, it might be the case. They're not looking like they want to change up on ultimates yet either. I mean, you're just going to have a Dry Blade as well. It's not like you're running Ana to boost it or anything, so it's just going to be these supports. You'll have the sound barrier perhaps. Oh, the hook in! Good support there. Rhea there to watch his boys back. Got that D-Matrix there to cover.
They get free entry, just still not really any damage coming through, not any meaningful damage. Goo Shui got to the back line. That's really nice though. Unko out of it, that's her main healer. That's like all the heals. It is probably time to go. Blade will very likely be coming out here.
IKM trying to make it play. Do we get the follow-up though? And it's looking like Closer going to be able to sneak his way out. The wings are still there, but now you're going to get the Blade through. Unko, first kill for him. Going for the dash reset, looking for a second. Blizzard will go down. That's going to buy a little bit of time here, and even the Battle Mercy from Closer really throwing everything into this fight.
Yeah, Adora didn't get the really early kills that they wanted there, but he put them in a position to be able to come back in with the Blade. The Resurrection came in, but then he just goes and denies it. Godspeed is switched off onto the Widow. It's a perfect position to come into a Widow now as the rest of your team is just causing chaos on the point. You get to clean it all up. The remnants of the Hangzhou Spark will gather on the point and will very likely take first control. Dallas posturing a little bit here, but I don't think they're coming back.
No, this is going to be them setting up the defense for the second point, but they did make Hangzhou Spark work for it. A lot of time used. We're only going to have 4 minutes on the clock here for Hangzhou to get onto that second point. And so, Dallas Fuel right now shouldn't be feeling too frustrated with themselves. AKM, he's going for the change to the Hanzo, and we'll have Godspeed mirroring that. So, on home turf, we will see bows and arrows at use.
Pretty much wholesale switches here for the Hangzhou Spark offense. They do have barrier and self-destruct, which can be great to open up this point. And they're going to take the long way around. Nice little map editing wall hack there.
That night.
And it was such a good entry too. It's really
clean.
nice. You know,
everybody made the jump.
Yeah, I talk about the difficulties of getting in on this map because a lot of teams feel relegated to only going that far right side from the offensive perspective, or you go in dead center and you're ceding all the high ground immediately. So an interesting attempt from Hangzhou, ruined by a single arrow.
Yeah, especially after, for some reason that's reminding me, I think it's like Thaddeus and Max Ramus in WoW raiding. You had to make the jump, and if you didn't make the jump, you were humiliated by the entire raid. There you go. But
they're in.
You know, they made the jump, they just took an arrow, and now it's going to be then onto the point now, trying to set up the hard point. That's Goo Shui trying to make it so that his team can have a place to play from, but Bria gonna get instantly melted, tries for the self-destruct over the top. That'll remove bongos, but that is it. Dallas Fuel still here, trying to trail onto the point. AKM has gotten boosted, in fact, and now dragging onto the point now to try and catch him in the open, just barely going to be able to force him. Adora hanging in there, though, and some solid work from the Spark.
There's just been really nice spatial control from the Spark as they rolled in early on. There were a couple of Lucio displacements as well, and they're getting everything that they need, and really Dallas has had a hard time staying on this point.
Yeah, they are. It looked promising for a moment. OG doing the best he can here on the point itself. It's just so hard to find the damage now. They are just cleaning up. They're playing a very clean game here on the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Controlled. Dallas just not able to reestablish that foothold on the defense.
Really nice attempt there on the offense from Hangzhou Spark to come in far side, set down a hard set point. And the moment that anyone from Dallas tried to come onto the point, they were getting anti-healed, they were getting knocked off of the point, they were getting halted off of the point.
Yep.
So I think Hangzhou was just expecting to get maybe 33, maybe 66. They end up with a full capture on Hana.
Yep, 2 minutes 14 in the bank.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Helden sterben nicht. Justice reigns.
So there you have it, the Hangzhou Spark showing what they're capable of on the offense on Hanamura. They blasted through the first point and just got it perfect on the second. 2 minutes 14 in the bank for them as they switch over to the defense.
It's really kind of reminiscent of how, I guess, Guangzhou was playing last time with Chasm, where it's just very objective-based. They're not just going for all of the kills. So they set up this hard point and they get their Orisa out there. And then almost anyone who has some sort of movement ability or kind of something to displace the other team just starts isolating people. You're halting them off the point. The Rhea's going in there and knocking people off the point. And meanwhile, the percentage is going up and up and up. And especially on Hanamura, where the defense is having to close in there, if you can boop them down the stairs, they might as well be dead. Because then you can isolate somebody else. It's kind of like the hole that you see on Oasis.
Yep.
If you get them out of the fight, then when they come back in, they're just going to die anyway. So really good use of displacement mechanics for Hangzhou leads to a very strong offensive push on Hanamura.
Yeah, it's not so much like the murder hole. It's kind of like assault and battery hole or something. You know, it's not quite there.
Manslaughter hole,
Manslaughter
maybe.
hole. You know, but there you go. Taking advantage of the map name of the game here in Overwatch as well as hitting shots.
That's a really nice opening kill on Bebe. That's so much of the healing gone. Although, since Hangzhou runs the Baptiste, it's not as game-breaking as if they were just on a Lucio.
Yeah, they still have a lot there. They still have the Frisbee to keep them up. OG dying as well isn't going to help things for that push. And so it means that the Dallas Fuel kind of get to kick up their heels. They're looking for a different way in now.
Line hook attempt does not follow through. Yeah, but Dallas hasn't run a lot of the Baptiste. I think they need to. I think right now Baptiste is super meta because of his utility, because of the straight up healing output he can put down.
Well, he replaces, he really does bring to the table that ability to survive. The immortality field, that's just so important. It's so crazy what a difference it makes. Just another barrier there, and there it is, the halt hook combo. The patience paid off. This is just awkward for Dallas Fuel now. You're kind of just stuck over here. It's this valuable time that is getting burnt off the clock, and they're, what do they do? Do they just reset? Because at some point they're gonna have to get back over there to help OG across.
Yeah, and right now, also Godspeed is just looking for OG. He's trying to get some free damage as OG is going to try to enter in here. But they're without their shield tank at the moment. It's been kind of awkward.
OG's in there now. He's trying to draw attention to himself. A little bit of a pot shot taken. But now AKM's the one to go down. Adora finding the kill there. Icicle to the dome. And a man advantage right now for the Hangzhou Spark. The hook in, but that's fine. Might as well have a Zarya bubble when you've got your ice block on cooldown.
I love that dragon from Godsby there. It's just to protect Adora. That's it. Because Adora gets hooked, he has really quick reactions, hits ice block on, but then he sees that Dallas is trying to collapse on the ice block Adora, just launches the dragon over to cover it. You know, it's why you see like people covering resurrections and things like that. You use those giant abilities and it works out. Godsby also charging at ultimate pretty quickly, so I really like that usage there. 90 seconds remains for the Dallas offense. Now starting to get some of their own ultimate abilities online, though.
Yeah, exactly. They are potentially going to actually have a bit of a fight now. 1 minute 20 on the clock, but they might not be allowed to get through the door. Zachary forced to use the ice block already, so now he'll be vulnerable. But get the focus on him. Dora gonna play it right on back. Dragon gonna come off cooldown and thrown straight in here onto the Spark. But they did have the Lantern to keep him up. Never mind, double freeze. There we go. Dallas Fuel finally coming up with the goods.
Very good isolation play. Adora and Rhea caught out in no man's land with no utility left for either of them, and the cleanup comes through. Zach with a really smart Blizzard there to make sure they lock down those 2 kills. And that should be Dallas taking first. That's why Blizzard, I don't know, Mei and Zarya are like the exact same thing right now.
Yep.
You know, it's totally fine to use a Blizzard to catch 1 or 2. You don't need to have the 5-man Blizzard or 5-man grab. Like, you can use a lot of the same terminology. You catch 2 out, you're gonna win that fight almost 100% of the time. So, smart usage there by Zach.
Oh, ice block is like a bubble as well.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just, you have really just taken the Zarya and put it in the Mei. And you have got that utility right there for you. Ready to go, and now closer. Do we get the window pane down? Yep, we do. Looking to do some damage. Took him a while. Oh, great disruption from Adora. Not even gonna let him use it.
Closer should be able to jump back up here. Dragon's gonna try to come clear somebody out. Big hook. Unable to finish that kill, though. Now a counter Dragon from AKM trying to clear up the high ground will do just that.
Yep. And just to force him back.
They got
Adora.
Adora.
Long range. Oh, that's a big bio nade, but closer. He had the field off cooldown. So Dallas Fuel will survive. OG takes Goo Shui as well. IDK going down, and this is the opportunity here for the Dallas Fuel.
Dallas in a great spot. They have to nano the Rhea on his hog just to keep him alive, and it doesn't even do that. Dallas hitting every single hook, and AKM connecting arrows with these hook targets.
Are they capable, though, of getting it faster than the Spark? Spark, 2 minutes 14. Right now we're at 2.5 for Dallas Fuel. But the stall now is actually being pretty good here on the side of the Spark. The Dragon thrown into the spawn just to try and cut off one of the doors.
Rhea ate it.
To get rid of Rhea. And we're right. It will not be faster, but they're still right on the edge. 94% for the Dallas Fuel. They need the Spark to slip up for an instant, for a moment, but the stall is so good on the side of the Spark.
Blizzard comes in here. Now they can start getting kills. You got to get kills on defense and be able to pull it back. Only 1 goes on to AKM, but it's a huge source of damage. Whole Hog's a pretty good ultimate.
Again, it's just the utility from it. You're pushing them off of the point. You cannot contest if you're not even able to stay on the point itself. So they do fall in the end. Minute 57 in the bank for Dallas Fuel. They were a little bit slower, but we'll get another round of it right after this. Live with the action, and it's just going to be more of the same here, Hex, because they finished with less time in the bank. The Dallas Fuel stay on offense. The Hangzhou Spark stay on defense.
Minimal differences here in the time bank. $157 versus $214 really doesn't mean a whole lot overall. So we shall see what these teams want to run on offense and on defense. Hangzhou ran a very unconventional offense on first point last time. They will be sitting on the defense here first. And really, Dallas was able to crush that last offensive push because Note hit every single hook, and AKM was hitting arrows on every single hook that Note was hitting. So good communication, good comms. They're really trying out Note in this captain calling kind of role. Seems to be working.
Yeah, a lot of conversation on his side of things. Good to see. They needed this kind of leadership, or at least a change, it seems. A fantastic bio-nade gets thrown in on the group of Dallas. 4 of them get hit. Nunko nearly dies. That would have delayed things tremendously here for the Fuel, but the Fuel They elect to kind of hanging around, and they are going to try and go for the push. Wall there to block them out in the open, though. Godspeed going to have a field day up here, but AKM takes down Rhea, so there's a man advantage now here for the offense. Godspeed needs to come up with a kill.
It's getting a lot of damage, but there aren't any kills here. Drone is going to be targeted down early on. Dora is able to take Unko out of the fight.
Yeah, Unko out, so no more Discord. Could slow things down here for the offense, but they're halfway to picking up the first point. Where's the contest coming in from the Spark? We're looking for him right now. Nearly 2 ticks. Last second delay coming in here from Adora. They're right on the edge of 3 ticks though. This is looking so good. Oh, he gets blocked in as well. Goo Shui cut off with the rest of his team. That's a big pick. IDK gone. And the Dallas Fuel, they're showing up to play.
Means did Goo Shui get blocked in, or did he just kind of jump off that wall out of the point thinking they had to put pressure on it? Another big hook.
Oh, the Dragon thrown in as well. So this is getting dicey. They're doing a great job once again of stalling. We're down to 30 seconds on the clock here for Dallas. And now the kills swing back the other way. The Hangzhou Spark looking like they might be able to stabilize. It's only Zachary over here on this side.
He resets. They have to reset. AKM went over to the Widow to try to get the closing kills that they need from the points. And now it's a question of who's going to be able to get in here and touch. They should have bodies. Big switches come from Dallas just to try to get people on the point.
And the perfect Maywall, just slowing everything down. Eventually, it looks like they'll get through. It's closer. He threw himself on there to get the overtime quick. And they will get it. Nice hack onto Adora here by AKM. Great pressure. That's a fantastic pick. Didn't have the Blizzard, but still has a lot of utility gone.
God's be able to take out Unko and the Supercharger in the corner. This one is all over for Dallas. That is going to be the permanent end of their progress, very likely, without some hero damage plays. Zach gets baby, but I don't think it's enough.
This is still solid, though. Solid performance coming in here from Dallas Fuel. It looked like they could pull off the 2-pointer, but they will get some solid push on the first point. And keep in mind, they don't have a whole lot of time to work with on their side of things either on the Spark. They're at 2-14, so a good defense here from Dallas Fuel. They're looking confident. They're looking khaki.
That's a pretty solid percentage that they put up there, 78.6. So that's going to be the watermark that Hangzhou needs to get to on their offense. And this has been about as dead even as a map as you can get. Eliminations tied up 38-38. We'll see if the Spark want to revisit their unconventional offensive push of a Wrecking Ball and Genji Reaper, kind of strange composition. It ended up working out well for him. It does seem like that's what we're queuing into here. Now this allows you to get a lot of space and a lot of pressure on the point. Goo Shui is very likely going to try to wrap around side, get on the point, pull people back, and then Adora going to try to capitalize. Also Genji very good because his ultimate charges pretty quickly. Yeah. You can get that kind of game or fight-winning ultimate off quickly. The only thing that really stood out as confusing, though, was that Godspeed was on the Reaper. Maybe he'll play the Widow again. He switched to it late in their last defense. And also, if they're anticipating the blind read of AKM on the Pharah, I think a Widow is a good call here.
That's exactly what I'm thinking here from Godspeed. Either the Hanzo, the Widow.
It used to be that Pharah was a very good counter to Hanzo. Then they switched a lot of things about Hanzo that not so much anymore.
The speed, it's the projectile speed. It's just changing up the projectile speed, making it quicker, making it easier to hit shots. But then, you know, all that speculation goes out the window when he decides to go for Reaper instead. So shotguns are here. We'll count on Adora to get the job done. And just waiting to be able to cross out into the open. Quick teleport here from Godspeed.
Gets the sight right through the tiny little crack in the architecture. What these pros figure out in this game still surprises me every day.
Yeah, it's so sick. Nice tech, and that's going to get him through onto the flank. 3 of them over there now, soon to be 4. You got Goo Shui, who's over on the right flank. He's doing his thing. And, well, Bebe is just waiting to see if he can actually heal his teammates at range at this point.
Well, they were pressuring him out with both tanks, but that does open up some space for the Hangzhou Spark on the offense. Anti-heal comes in on Unko. They're going to try to finish Unko.
Yep, Unko goes. Rhea's there. That's the big kill. The Mercy's going to be the sole source of healing now pretty much for the Dallas Fuel. OG hanging on by a thread, trying to stay alive. Decent work here from Zachary, putting some pressure on. Do we get the dash kill? We could have the commit, but no, Unko's back into the fight. No, there's the reflex. Get out of town. 2 kills coming in here for the Spark.
No resurrection available now either. Blade about to be online.
Yep. There it is, Blade. Does he see it? Yep, he does. He's going for the kill. OG dead. Looking for the follow-up on the Mercy, but Mercy high up in the sky. AKM getting forced out as well. No chance for him to contest.
He didn't even go for the dash kill on the Mercy. Very strange there, and Adora now out of the fight. Good progress going for Hangzhou, though.
Yeah, and now Zachary changed over to the Tracer. So you got Note and Zachary. Good stall heroes here from them. Zachary goes down, but Note's gonna try and get in here. Body blocked at the door. And it looks like he's gonna get deleted quickly, or at least he's not even gonna have much of a say. Just rolling through the minefields. One step ahead. Goo Shui was ready for him, and that is the Hangzhou Spark tying it up. Taking the second map of the series and tying us up 1-1.
It's just a really nice anti-heal to kick that one off. It was across the map from one Ana to the other. They get it onto Unko, pressure him down, force out the resurrection. Don't even bother trying to stop the res. They're picking out different targets. They get Unko again. Way too much damage to come through. See what our halftime crew has to say.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Dallas is fighting for their playoff lives while the Spark are fighting for a spot in that top 6. And at the half, we're all even at 1 apiece. What's up, everybody? Malik back. We got Zoe and Sideshow here joining us here at the halftime. Dallas Fuel coming out so far, fighting for their playoffs lives. They were able to take their first map at Lijiang Tower. What were you guys' thoughts so far in this matchup?
Well, I was actually pretty impressed with them there. They played very cohesive. I think Taimu and Zachary did a fantastic job on that Reaper Mei combo.
Yes.
They put on a lot of pressure on the tank line from the Spark, and I don't think they really were able to deal with that. Ria and Goo Shui both really struggled. They had incredible lots of deaths to their name. That sentence made no sense whatsoever, but that's okay.
They were feeding.
Because, yeah, they were feeding. That's kind of what I'm saying, but not saying.
Yeah, the Hangzhou Spark are a team that I think have still to really figure out how this meta works. And you can see them here running the Pharah and the Doomfist, trying to break what Dallas are running. They tried the Mei Reaper to try and just go toe-to-toe and play the meta as it is now, but they spread out a lot. They don't group together as a team and take kills, find people, call targets effectively. They're still playing it like how they used to play GOATs, which is spread out, try and force a lot of aggression onto people and have multiple threats. Doesn't really work in this meta because the Reaper can just run you over.
Right, moving on to Hanamura. Things kind of switched over to the Hangzhou Sparks and the momentum going in the favor of the boys in the pink. Godsby in particular popping off on that Hangzhou.
Yeah, really impressive Hangzhou performance, and he had some good moments on the Widowmaker as well. But Dallas Fuel still were keeping themselves in it, you know. And it's a pity that they look fairly decent as we're coming to the close of the season. If this had just been a little bit earlier, they might have snuck into the playoffs. Still mathematically possible, but there are about 2 universes out of the infinite universes where it happens, I think.
Yeah, but I do like to see also the strategic kind of way they field their players right now. AKM is coming in for specific maps, Taimu is coming in for specific maps, and I do think both of them look very good whenever they are in. So at no point in time so far did we have to question which DPS player is actually fielded from the Dallas field, which hasn't quite been the case in the past.
Yeah, they've definitely got some kind of internal plan as to how they want everybody to be fielded. And for the Dallas field as well, that's a really important question to answer moving forward to 2020, because this is a team that has underperformed this season compared to expectations. You think how good they were at the Dallas homestand. They're starting to see a little bit of it now, but it's never been quite at that level again.
Right. Again, the Dallas field, they really need this win for their playoff hopes. You know, I imagine when you said 2 universes where they actually win, I imagine you doing the Doctor Strange thing.
Exactly.
Sitting there combing through all the realities. But anyways, this match, there's a lot to unpack, and I believe you have a little insight for us, Sideshow, am I mistaken?
I certainly do, yeah. It's about Godsby playing the Reaper this time, because although he had such great performances on the Hangzhou and the Widowmaker, I've got an insights powered by Intel where I want to run through his Reaper performance and that cool, awesome thing that he did at the beginning. Did you know about this one, Malik? Let's take a look at the opening setup. So this is the very first way they break it, and this choke point is the main choke point on Hanamura first. They've got the Pharah staring down at it, the Orisa's going to be piling damage, and the Roadhog potentially hooking. So for the Hangzhou Spark, they're going to try and get through this little window instead, and that's where the majority of their players are going to go through. And they've got this awesome teleport set up from a tiny little sight line that Godsby's going to make use of. So you see him teleport through and lands up on the high ground over here. The Genji can get through very easily as well, and then the rest of the team is going to speed boost their way through to allow the Moira and the D.Va this position. So now they've got everybody up top. Here it is. Here's the teleport from his perspective. He lines it up just through those banners, through the window and on top of this hut. Clearly a predetermined play, and these aggressive teleports throughout the map allowed him to open up points. So here uses his teleport aggressively, uses his Wraith form aggressively as well, ends up dying, but the point is he opens up these at locations. It's a weird way of playing Reaper, honestly. You don't often see teams running it like this, but I think it's really cool, and it shows it's a set strategy that the Hangzhou Spark have worked on.
I love it. Some pro shadow stepping right there.
Yeah,
I love it. And I actually did know about that one in particular.
Okay,
but
all right.
The
I can't teach you anything, you know, you're too good at the Reaper.
Well, no. There's been some new ones. Don't get me wrong. There's been some new ones. Well, guys, the Spark, they're hoping to keep their 5th place in the standings right now. And if we look at our playoff bracket, you'll see why. The 6th seed would have to face the San Francisco Shock. If they were to fall from 5th to 6th, they're essentially putting themselves in a very tough position in that first round.
Yeah, I don't think any team really wants to face off against the Shock
No,
there.
they may have the 3rd seed. They're not the 3rd best.
Absolutely not. So I think it is in the Spark's interest to not make that happen. And yeah, I guess the Shanghai Dragons and Seoul Dynasty are secretly cheering for that to happen though right now.
Yeah.
However, I don't really see that being the scenario here. I do think the Spark is going to run away with this series.
I mean, given how the Gladiators have been playing, is the current position they're in so good as well?
I think it's a lot better. I think although the Gladiators are very highly rated by a bunch of different analysts, the Gladiators will go down quite a bit easier than the San Francisco Shock. I think the Shock are going to be really prepared, very capable in a bunch of different metas. Gladiators have still looked a bit shaky. They did lose to the Houston Outlaws, remember? So this is a team that the Spark could potentially handle. But if they drop to that 6th position, or even worse, if they drop into the play-in tournament, if they don't even make top 6, Spark are in trouble.
Yeah, I actually don't see Spark going through the play-in tournament. I actually think that would be an instant out for them. So.
All right, well guys, we got Blizzard World coming up. This is Assault map. We saw Hangzhou Spark. They're pretty good on non-control maps so far today. Blizzard World looking like a map that's in their favor, or is this the Dallas Field map to take?
I'm going to agree with Zoe in that I think the Spark runs away with the rest of this series because once they're able to open up Godsby on the Hangzhou or on the Widowmaker, 2 picks that are very reasonable on Blizzard World, and get away from control, where Dallas feels it's easily their best map type, they should have this series in the bag, I think.
All right, well, guys, it's all tied up 1-1. We're going to see if the Hangzhou Spark can stay in the top 6 and if the Dallas Field can stay in playoff contention when we come back right after the break.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Team up for special attack.
So there you have it. Hex, we just won't try to teach Malik anything about Reaper play. The guy's gonna know all the tech on every map, from every position, from every role.
What's interesting is that he's able to get those precision spots with a controller. You'd think
I set him up, you knock him down.
Kind of hard with the thumbs.
You know, it's just there. It's got that soft touch. But yeah, who's got the soft touch right now? It's the Spark. They figured it out on that second map. Hanamura went their way. We're tied up 1-1.
It's not ultra surprising, as Josh mentioned, that Control is obviously Dallas's best map type. They usually don't get super swept because they can usually win that one. There's been a lot of 1-3s in the recent Dallas history where they win a map and then just lose 3. But they're still trying to figure it out. We've got a substitution coming in. Trill will be subbing in for OG. It's getting a lot more playtime lately. They seem to have brought in different players for different maps here, so they kind of have a specialist idea figured out. See what Trill can get done as we go to Blizzard World, tied up 1-1 now in what is pretty much a best of 3. Dallas trying to keep their hopes alive. Hangzhou trying to, make sure that their seeding doesn't knock them into the play-in.
Yeah, that's the brutal one here for Hangzhou. They're the ones with something to lose. I mean, as far as Dallas is concerned, it's probably close to that 1% chance of them making it, but...
So yeah, saying there's a chance.
It's like saying there's a chance. It's always a chance.
Yeah, even if they lose, they're not mathematically eliminated.
Yeah.
Dallas can lose 0-4 and still be in contention for the play-in.
It's just, it was looking good for Dallas. Middle of the season, they had a solid peak there, and then it's just been the struggle bus ever since.
Well, coming into today, Dallas had a little bit shy of 7% chance of making it to our top 12 play-in. Obviously, that goes down if they lose, but it's actually a lot higher than I thought it would be.
I agree. Nice wall there by Adora. Setting it up. Oh, that's a good ultimate, or not ultimate, but ability that's used already. Rhea going to survive the pressure. Oh, never mind. Gets greedy. Sticks out behind that shield. That was pure greed right there.
That was super greedy. It was anti-yield. There was a shield in front of him, and then he's like, "No, I'm going to go for it." Ends up going down, and that makes halts less impactful. That makes everything else less impactful. This is that kind of composition where you require all 6 to be able to go, especially when you're mirror matching. Very similar to what they are.
Woo, there's the pick. Nice flank there from AKM, clever play. Catches IDK out in the open. Now we'll get the Blizzard used. An attempt there from Rhea to shut down AKM, and yep, sure enough, gonna hit it. Trill caught in the corner. I mean, the support is coming in here from Unko as best he can, and the boost as well. That's the nano going on to Trill. Is gonna make it very hard to drop him. One-man army right now. Oh, now you get the Mei wall, you get the barriers going in. This is unbelievable. Zachary gonna help out. But eventually, Trill, I mean, there's only so long you can live when the entire Hangzhou Spark seems to be piling on you.
And they nano him, they put up the amplification matrix and just pump all that healing in through to him, as meanwhile, Hangzhou just kept pumping damage into him and damage into him. Becomes an ultimate battery at that point.
Yeah.
And a better dragon comes through for Godspeed. Should be it for the defense of Dallas as everyone continues to fall.
Yep, they're going for the hard reset now. Note's trying to just delay a little bit here, but eventually he will take Trap to the face, and it is going to be a successful first push here for the Hangzhou Spark. 4 minutes on the clock for them.
It was a really nice early Blizzard from Adora that probably won him that. He isolated 2 tanks. Yes, Trill lived through it, but isolating the 2 tanks also meant that AKM had to back off of the point, and guess who was waiting for him with the bow and arrow on the other side of things? Godspeed knows exactly where the other team has to retreat to, and he's always there to punish.
Yeah, gets those hooks and brings them in. Long range headshot, canceled out by the wall. So much damage possible when the window paints down, but it will be the Hangzhou Spark right now, just trying to hold the Dallas Fuel at bay. Bebe is hanging out on the payload, making some progress.
Yeah, Supercharger comes out, but right now Hangzhou can just bail. They just kill the Supercharger anyway. No need to stick around. They're going to back up, reset, make sure their positioning is good for this next push.
Yep, solid work. They got a good bunch of free push there. And now they get to come in coordinated with ults as well, because you do have the whole hog, which will make it difficult for the Dallas Fuel to challenge on the point. To contest, that is.
All better. IKM's got to be a little bit careful. He's trying to take this high ground on top of the tank and get some damage in. Speaking of damage, my god. I always underestimate what Baptiste can pull off.
Yeah, he actually can bring some serious pain. That's why Rascal looks so good on him. It's just like, yeah, Rascal can he's got great aim. And it happens, but now you're gonna get the trance. This is actually just the grab version 2.0. Trance is in, Trill hooked into his demise, and Dallas Fuel on the defense gonna have a bit of a rough time of it unless they can come up with the kills, and it looks like they did manage that. 2 of them right there, one of them off the back of a dragon.
Adora just kind of walked into that one, moseyed in, thought he was out of it, and then ended up walking himself back into it. He was trying to get something done at the Blizzard that he had just thrown in, but the positioning of the dragons did not allow him to pull that off. This is a side note about Baptiste, so what's really interesting is none of the Baptistes are like really even damage, even healing. Either you heal a lot and you do no damage, or you do a ton of damage, you barely heal.
Yeah.
There's very different styles of playing Baptiste in this league right now.
You got players trying to sneak extra damage in there. Ooh, the parting shot. Godspeed though, on high, nothing really here to challenge him. I mean, Zachary's been trying to get lucky.
Oh, that's unlucky. A couple of headshots come in, Unko falls. This one is now Hangzhou pulling forward, but a pretty solid second point hold thus far for the Dallas Fuel. Little under 2 minutes for them to try to get this checkpoint, the Hangzhou Spark. Perhaps Dallas should be able to come out here, but a nice forward positioning here. Supercharger gonna pop right off.
Yeah, no time wasted. Melt that shield. Do not let the Dallas Fuel set up. Unko gets picked to kick things off, and it's looking like a second point here for the Hangzhou Spark right in front of the Dallas Fuel's faces.
And it forced Zach to use the Blizzard there, one that he'd very likely like to have back. Not going to have it back, though. He's going to reset here. Now, Hangzhou, as they continue to push, are going to have everything that they want damage-wise. Blizzard and a Dragon. So Hangzhou going to take another very forward position here, trying to catch stragglers.
That's a tough break for Dallas. I thought they were looking so good there on the defense. Really slowing the Spark up. Good aggressive defense coming out, but the Spark just pick them up and then out aggro them. Once again, Bebe on cart duty, and you're gonna get the window pane down, so Dallas Fuel have to push back even more. Dragon is in, but the door is fine, hiding in the ice block that somehow doesn't get melted by high energy fusion dragons. I don't know what those things are made out of, but that's some tough ice hits.
I thought dragons could melt ice walls. Have I been misinformed?
Yeah.
AKM gets a couple, though. That's the kind of kills that they need, the individual effort that they need to be able to stabilize, although a couple swing back kills for Hangzhou. They're the kind of team that wants to stick in it on uneven numbers.
They're scrappy. They got grit. They don't give up. Well, they've got ultimates to play with as well. Speaking of, we've got a Blizzard. Dora gonna be looking to use that one to open things up here, perhaps. There's no diva to worry about on the other side.
Oh, the hook! Ah, the hook!
You're loving it. There's the Blizzards. Thrown right on in. Do we get rid of it? Yep, Lantern's gone. They can, in fact, die, but the trance was used. And then AKM throwing the Dragon in here, trying to stumble the offense. Bebe goes down, Goo Shui as well, and it worked. Dallas Fuel.
Yeah.
Great poise being shown here on the defense.
And that one worked out, but previously on second point and even early on first point, there were times that I think Dallas is using their ultimates too far away in some of these fights. Supercharger come up really early. Zach, really early. This is what I was chuckling at. That's that. Oh, no! I got you! A little, what's that creature in Lord of the Rings? A little Balrog there at the end. On his way down, gets the whip. You're coming with me, son?
Why? Well, they're looking to do just that. They've got 45 seconds on the clock for the Hangzhou Spark, so there's still a good push left in them here if they can make their way through. The Dallas Fuel not wanting to give it up to them too easily, though. Zachary with the ice block already used. Now the Blizzard as well. They're really trying to stagger this out, but it's Zachary to find the kill to kick off this push. Adora already gone, and that's going to... Well, this kill especially is going to force them to just, yeah, exactly, reset and go back to spawn.
Full-on reset here. You can open it up with Dragon and try to create some space, and then you try to push a door in as hard as humanly possible. You will have Blizzard up for this next fight. Hangzhou with their last offensive push. Nope, goes fishing, comes up empty.
Indeed he does, but they are looking to go through, change up the angle. Dragon is here, trying to crack the defense. Let's split them up and see if we can take advantage of it. And Adora dies again.
That can't happen. Not right there, it can't.
Might be a chance, though. Godspeed looking to be the hero. AKM did find a kill on Goo Shui. And you've got the Lantern down, just covering everybody on the side of the Dallas, so nobody can die.
Go solo, though. Not going to be enough. That's where the payload will stop for the Hangzhou offense.
Right in front of it. Third point not picked up here for the Hangzhou Spark. It will be 2 and change. And the Dallas Fuel looking like they were able to stabilize here. Maybe these this strategy that Dallas are going for, having these specific subs, these specific players for these specific game modes, it seems like that's what they're sticking to. And so far, it's looking like it's working out here for Dallas.
There have been some questionable ult uses, though, like I said early on, but they were able to clean it up in the close quarters of the final. We'll see the other side of Blizzard World when we return.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
And as we follow the train of probes like a well-executed cheese, it is going to be the Dallas Fuel changing sides. We're on the offense now with Dallas. They had a successful defense, denied Hangzhou Spark the full 3 points possible here on the map. And so Dallas, they have a chance to fight back and take the lead in the series once again.
Those probes are destructible, but you're a bad person if you're shooting innocent probes just flying through the sky. Poor Probius.
Any chance to kill probes, you take.
You are playing Protoss lately. You came to the dark side. I watch you play. We sit in the casters lounge. I see it happen. Don't lie to the people and say that you're this honorable Zerg, which also oxymoron.
I still have a Zerg. Zerg at hard hex.
All right. Offensively, no big surprises from the Dallas offense. Defensively, the same can be said for the Hangzhou Spark. Very standard meta picks right now. Both teams mirroring each other. Blizzard World has kind of been figured out on how teams want to approach this one. Try to come far left, try to get your Orisa in a decent spot, try to not lose AKM to an Icicle.
Yeah, that's problematic. And then you get the Maywall down, so it makes it difficult for Hangzhou Spark to follow up, but it's looking like they will get a clean exit here on the side of Dallas Field. Never mind. The fadeaway shot onto Zachary takes him down, drops him, sends him back to spawn. But Dallas Field, we're heading back that way anyway, so that's not the end of the world. AKM dying first, though. That's painful because look at the difference now in Dragons. Godsby's up at 87% already. The guy was just chunking. So we'll have that ult online. Key here for the defense.
I mean, a lot of these matchups always seem like they come down to who's got the better Hanzo that day. He's such a good hero as far as burst damage goes and the pick potential. May's got the Icicle, and it's really nice, but it's almost always about Hanzo's cracking shields, getting dragons, getting individual kills.
Yeah. You're not wrong on that point. Now it's going to be the Dragon Throne. Shots checking it. Yep, there it is. Right on through. Cutting the team up and hoping to catch him out, but with the window, I mean, you had the field down there from closers, so people are going to survive on his side. They are dropping low, though. Hangzhou Spark doing a better job of keeping healthy. AKM really not finding the damage either. 55% right now for the Dragon.
And Godsby just used Dragon, and he's matching AKM again.
Yeah, it's getting a bit out of hand. There's so much pressure getting poured onto Dallas. Unko trying to stem the tide. He brings up the trance. Not going to get cut off from the rest of his team. He will be able to snake his way back around that wall. But Adora, this is just going to turn into a shooting gallery. But there's the window, finally. Oh, no way! Godsby, right when the Dragon comes up, Godsby hits the headshot on AKM, sends him back. We do get a trade at least. Hanzo's dead on both sides. But losing Unko is not going to help the offense. Dallas Fuel, no permanent progress picked up on the point yet.
Full Hog able to come in and buy them some time and position. Right now, they got to be careful. Trill is in a world of trouble. The wall has to come up just to protect him, but Adora can throw in this Blizzard at any time. He's got the high ground and it's been uncontested.
Yeah, he's got that Blizzard and he's waiting for it. Yep, now Trill. Oh, that's an awkward spot. Nice barrier use there by Trill, and it's on such a short cooldown. That's not the end of the world, so he will survive. But as far as the defense is concerned, here we go. Dragons all over the place. Blizzards as well. Counter Dragon getting thrown in. But you had the Frisbee. Not long enough, though. Zachary, good focus there from Godsby, and he picks up the kill on Zachary. So no May here. Nearly trading it back against Adora, but Adora going to get brought up there by IDK. Great support work coming in here from Bebe and IDK.
It's just the timing of the ultimates for Hangzhou has been better there because they both were able to put down immortality fields. However, Bebe had his own transcendence up. Unko still trying to get to his transcendence. And now, this is how quick some of these hybrid maps go. 30 seconds left for the Dallas offense.
That's the thing. Feels a little bit longer sometimes, but you've only got 4 minutes to get the push down. And now we have the dramatic music here. The final push for the Dallas Fuel, and AKM has gone to Sombra.
I mean, his Hanzo's not getting it done, so I'm okay with the switch, but it seems very late.
That seems like a bit of a stretch. I mean, how quickly is he going to be able to build an EMP? If the fight gets staggered out properly, maybe there's a chance.
This is about individual hacks and trying to get picks in the back line. He's not going to have time for an EMP.
Let's see it. Oh, the hook. Oh, Trill. Blown up. Perfect Discord. AKM, though. 2 kills coming in here for AKM and Zachary. They're doing their work here on the side of Dallas. Blizzard might ruin their day, though, along with the Dragon. That's a D-Mac. That's Zachary dead. Unko gone, and it's a total bloodbath. The Hangzhou Spark is going to hold with ease on Blizzard World, taking the lead in the series, 2-1.
Looked like a little bit of a discordant attack throughout the entire time Dallas was in there. Trill was on one side of the archway, or on the gap rather, and he was getting isolated. They had to use a lot of defensive resources just to keep him up and alive, and it seemed while he was being cut off from the rest of his team, they were never able to force a full attack. Not individual picks, not individual plays happening either for the Dallas Fuel offense, and the Hangzhou Spark are 1 map away from closing out this set.
We're taking a break. Right.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Cease your resistance.
One more time.
The Vancouver Titans, Stage 1 champions. The Shark have done it. Stage 2 champions. Make some noise for the current holders of the California Cup.
That's it. Be sure to check it out. LAValiant.com for tickets. There's still just a few left for the Kit Kat Rivalry weekend. Don't want to miss it. It's live here in Los Angeles.
Oh, it's always so fun to go out these home stands, even though it's Los Angeles and we're just kind of going to downtown here, but it's always fun to see the fans in a new venue. Also, the slate of games we have with the implications of brackets and seeding and everything we have going on there. It's going to be ridiculous.
It's going to be so much fun, Hex, and it's going to be a good time as well because we're going to get to see both LA teams go clashing at it. We're going to have some of the elite teams who are
San
sitting at the
Francisco
top of the
there,
pack
Vancouver there,
exactly.
and Mike Saw there.
So,
Atlanta's going to be there.
It's a pretty stacked event. It's going to be pretty good. But we're getting into our potential final map here of this series. The Hangzhou Spark, before we went to a break, they took the lead 2-1 over the Dallas Fuel. Trill looks like he'll be staying in for the final map as well. So no substitutes for either of these teams.
I'm going to go to Junkertown here. It's just been interesting with Dallas because it's two sides of the coin. Do you want to try out new players, new compositions to see what's going on? Or do you want to get a consistent 6 to see if they can gel together, see if they can learn together and become a good team? There's a lot of teams in this league who try variations of this, but some of the best teams in this league mostly run the same 6 guys, maybe a couple subs, but you know, it's just a different philosophy. Either way, you have to decide which one you're going to do, and Dallas seems to want to be trying out different compositions and different players at the very least. AKM will be back in, but he gets to play hit scan now. This is going to open up on the Widow.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm curious to see his level of Widow. Godspeed, no slouch when it comes to the sniping. So that'll be fun to watch. This is exactly that, the sniper's paradise, where you can go completely crazy and still potentially lose. So
I used to think Gibraltar was a fantastic Widow map, and then they released Junkertown, and I'm like, oh, I was a fool.
Yeah, there's like, hold my scope, Hex. You think that's the best map? Please. Trying to see if he can spot him through. There we go. Game is up. Godspeed. Wow, bold from Godspeed. No hesitation. Looking for the fight straight up with AKM. In the meantime, his team going to work. We've got both Baptistes in play here for either of these teams, so they'll have to get rid of the Lantern before they can find any kills.
Lantern, drone, frisbee, call it what you will. It's Little Lord above everybody. KM goes down. No resurrections on the field here, so now Godspeed gets to operate with impunity.
Sick shot. The second one is just a thing of beauty. The rest of the team, the defense collapses completely at that point. Godspeed opening it all up, and this is, I hate to say, kind of what I was expecting to see here. Godspeed, just a solid Widow.
We've seen just Widows just carry this very first point, especially. It's wide open for you. Saya comes to mind as some of the most dominant Widow play I've ever seen on this point. And now you can still play it on second, and it really depends of your positioning here, because Dallas was so thoroughly trounced that they're going to be in position on this high ground. We'll see if Godspeed sticks on this or not.
Boom. We could just get the Godspeed show here, just to end it. Gonna miss that shot. That's unfortunate because that would have been perfect timing. But AKM strikes back, shows he's got some fangs.
Redemption Tour. Transcendence comes in, but they wall him off maybe for a second. This one is still all over the place as both teams dropping a lot of ults, a lot of shields, a lot of windows.
Yeah, all the ults right now, the full-on Fiesta. And it's still the duel going on here. AKM waiting for his opponent to revive and get back into the fray, but Godspeed set it up so he can see through walls, and the rest of his team can as well.
Yeah, a later infra sight here for Godspeed gives him the Widow advantage, and that's going to put AKM down to the high ground around the corner. Doesn't want to peek.
Has to be careful here, and the whole hog going to force them back as well. So not messing around, Rhea. Just wants to get him out of here and set him up for the home stretch here to the second point for the Hangzhou Spark. Blizzard thrown in as well, on top of the Dallas Fuel. Nowhere to go. Ice Block already used by Zachary, and Trill dead. Solid push coming in here from the Spark. The Dallas Fuel, man, they're just getting pummeled.
Godspeed went on the flank. He went through the high ground and caught AKM unawares. Meanwhile, the tank line for Hangzhou continues to clean up. This one is all but over as the second point is taken. Over 5 minutes on the clock for the Hangzhou Spark to try to close out Junkertown.
Yeah.
Only 2 eliminations for the Dallas Fuel so far on this map.
It's been excellent work. Excellent work from the Spark, but this is what's possible when you hit that dominance, when you have that sniper, that one-shot kill potential. Spotted a target. And right now, there's going to be a chance for him to take down AKM, because I think AKM's going to be focused. Yep, sure enough. Takes down AKM. AKM focused on the main fight. Not sure where Godspeed was playing from. Didn't have the info to go off of. A perfect punish there from Godspeed to open it all up again.
Lack of the critical information, and he's punished for it. Trill also goes down to a volley. They've even gotten Trill a couple times on that same play where they hook him in, and there's a volley from the Zen already queued up, and you're just not going to live through that. It's way too much damage. Godspeed!
Oh, he hit that shot too. A body, though. And now knows where AKM's playing from, so life isn't going to get any easier here for AKM, sadly for him.
Rolling
may even just be changing it out, right?
44% critical accuracy right now. About half of his shots are hitting heads.
Yeah. Oh, it's so clean. There's another one.
47% critical accuracy.
And this is forced the trans out from Unko, and now you're going to get Bebe. Delayed trans here on the side of the Spark, used aggressively.
Oh, he's trying to save Adora. He does just that.
And it's now the last-ditch effort here from the Dallas Fuel. 3 minutes 45, Zachary goes down. Barrier is still up. Trill doing the best he can to make use of the payload as well, trying to survive. And there's a chance, looking for it, trading.
You got to be really clean on these last pushes because the defenders are going to be rolling out here in very quick fashion. Trill goes down again.
Spotted him. Oh, the aggression here. Widow on Widow, headshot there. AKM hanging on by a thread, but it doesn't even matter. The rest of the team goes down in the meantime on the defense. And it will be the Spark collecting all 3 points in excellent time. Don't think that was the fastest. I don't think that's a record breaker, but that's still pretty solid work here on the side of Hangzhou.
3:21 remain on the clock. I mean, you can talk about Godspeed all you want, and he deserves it, but I really like how the support line has been playing for Hangzhou. Bebe is getting in on a lot of the action, a lot of the kills. IDK has played a very, very solid Baptiste, you know, which allows you to play a more off supports, that you can play this flex support that does damage. You can play the Zen rather than having to play the Ana, because Baptiste is putting out so much healing, you don't really have to worry about it, and it adds another damage dealer, another flanker, and they've hit this combo where he just loads up a volley, they pull in a hook, and then it just melted. They've just melted Trill on that play like 3 or 4 times now.
That's the good communication and the focus fire. What's so key, what's so important in this meta. When you have just a split second to blast somebody, you need to be coordinated, you need to take advantage of it. You can't have any messing around. Well, speaking of messing around, we might have the pirate ship Here's some seagulls in the air.
You got to do something to get kills. Dallas is only able to rack up 4 eliminations that entire defense.
Yeah.
That's not going to get it done.
No, that's a bit of a one-sided affair when Hangzhou are picking up 23. So, well, we saw just how quick that went for Hangzhou. And let's see, as far as the defense is concerned, nothing too crazy coming out from them. Do we have a trap getting set? Yeah, it's a bit of a forward play here from the Spark.
If you expect pirate ship, you have to hold forward. You don't want to let them get set up, and if you do, you have to at least make it difficult for them to do so.
Indeed, and so Zachary looking like he'll be setting up the teleporter. Gonna make it cool.
Yeah, that's a great wall, but you
Perfect.
can get your Bastion up here.
Or he can just get slept. And now the rest of the team, what are they going to do? Lantern's been used already, not in an ideal position either here for Closer. He's not going to be too happy about that. It means that they're going to be vulnerable. And there's AKM, halted off the side into his death. Feels like Shark Week or something. He just fell in the water and there was just nothing left but bits and bolts.
Switches here, they're going to kind of abandon the idea of the pirate ship strategy.
Now you're looking to punish. You got AKM just chucking some rockets out there, looking for it. The shots are there, perfect. IDK collects the kill, but with the help of his team on AKM. But you've lost Adora, so a small victory there for the Dallas Fuel.
Ooh, nice sleep.
You're still losing Zachary though. But it's not going to be enough. I mean, you've got the man advantage. Closer going down. Are they really just going to 5v6 this?
And they've got the gusto to do it. They use the nano early on. Goo Shui stays alive somehow. All the kills coming in for Pink.
Yeah, finally one of them goes the way of Dallas Fuel. Well, 2 of them, I mean, off of the back of Adora, but Adora's had enough time to run back into this fight. It's been going on so long.
Zach's in a world of hurt right now. He just keeps climbing the silo, hoping no one sees him because he's got 0 HP.
The impact that he's having right now.
I mean, look, Shadow Step did get buffed, but it's not that good still. Nice limb.
Yeah, he's gone. So no Blossom there. Zachary finally getting the chime in here. And this will be the hard reset for the Spark. But look at how close this is. This is so good about the defense being so aggressive at the door. It just means that they're going to get the challenge. They're going to get the challenge to payload again before the first point.
I mean, a lot of teams will hold back at the first corner, too, which is directly to the left of these stairs right now. But now it seems like Hangzhou should be able to get back in if they get 1 or 2 kills. Dal's doing a good job of holding far forward, though, not just giving up the position that they've now earned.
Yeah, they'll have the Blizzard as well here from Adora, so that'll give them some tools to use to clean up that point. Wall is there. AKM has got the barrage, though, so we'll see. Does AKM find the window of opportunity to get value from his ultimate?
He's zoning them out very well right now. Gosby can't really do anything. The moment he pokes in, it's not going to have an angle on AKM, and he can just dunk rockets on him.
Well, there's the D-Matrix. Instant use of the barrage, hunting for targets, but the trance is used by Bebe, canceling it out effectively. Excellent work on the side of the supports here for the Spark. Blizzard finally gets thrown down, but the kills are going the way of the Dallas Fuel. You've lost Unko, and somehow Adora is still in this fight. Unbelievable. Adora and Bebe still here.
Gosby just with a grapple flick over the side is able to take AKM out of the fight. He's keeping his spot in this because no one's even looking at him right now. But the ground force of the Dallas Fuel seems to be enough to pull this one off. Gosby in the back gets low, gets rocked. Dallas will finally take first point. 3:13 on their clock.
And that was crazy.
That was a good shot. Like, it didn't really matter in the end, but it's still fun to see those Widow trick shots.
Yeah, solid. And Spark, I mean, they've burnt so much time. I mean, now we're down to 3 minutes here for Dallas Fuel. They got a bit of a ways to go. Gosby changed it up, though. Gonna get that Reaper in play now. So looking to just melt shields, not let the Dallas Fuel get too comfortable on this payload. AKM, though, looking to take full advantage of that. There isn't really an answer for him. He gets to just have fun.
They find Zachary all alone, though, and they just run him over with Rhea. Unresable position as well, very likely. I don't think they're going to get there. And Sparker in a really cool position right now.
Oh, Dragon from Spawn. Thrown in here from Zachary.
Very likely you're going to switch.
He's sticking with it, man.
All right, just to clear off the point. I guess if you know where the card is, might as well launch it in.
Yeah, and AKM finds the headshot on IDK, but Zachary getting traded. No, Zachary putting up the fight. 2 kills here for Dallas Fuel on the defense, and the Spark, they tried to go aggressive and they got punished. This time things are working out here for Dallas. This is the hard reset now coming in here for the Spark.
Hangzhou just trying to stall. That's what feels like the last several fights for Hangzhou have been, is just trying to stall in this one. Shy of 2 minutes on the Dallas clock, but they should be able to get to this point. The late kills out of the tank line of the Hangzhou means that they're not going to be back here in good enough position. Goo Shui just gets triple dinked.
Yeah, sick work from AKM. That's the thing. Godsby changing off the Widows just allowed AKM to have all the room.
Yeah.
He gets to just take shots with impunity now. The double sniper setup working wonders here for the Dallas Fuel.
And Godsby hasn't done anything on this Reaper either to really justify this switch.
Man, and now you got so much time on the clock.
I mean, it is going to be less, though.
No
You think about how quickly Hangzhou finished. They have 3:20 in their clock. Dallas already below that.
It's going to be, but I think it is possible here for Dallas Fuel to get in. We'll find out. 3 minutes. Anything is good. Goo Shui going up with the self-destruct as well isn't going to help things. Godsby in the back line, finally getting some revenge, but then you get the Battle Mercy closer there.
Yeah. This was a fight that Hangzhou needed to win with this kind of composition, because if you can hold them at this doorway with a Reaper and a Mei, then it's almost impossible to break through without trying to mirror it in your own right to be able to crack things as well. But Hangzhou unable to connect the Blizzard and the Reaper shots at the same time, getting rolled through now. Dallas's double sniper has done a lot of work because really no one's even harassing him. Rhea tries his best to be there, but he can't deal with both of them. And Dallas has just far gone the ground and pound style of the Reaper Mei. It's working out for him.
Hanzo with the Dragon. Rhea taking a lot of damage. The focus too good. Once again, demeched. Dallas now, I mean, you've still got so much room here for Dallas. It's still working out. The boost onto Zachary as well. Looking to connect. Not quite finding it, but this is still a territory here for Spark to put up a decent defense. Maywall used just as protection, but his point blank shots coming in. Zachary, you gotta give it to Zachary. He's turned it around. He's leading the board right now on final blows.
Well, I mean, I've always thought Zach could probably be the best Hanzo on this team. The problem is they want to run a Mei as well, and so he's probably their best option at Mei, as it turns out. And they have completely equalized. As one-sided as the first half was, now we're dead even in kills. And I gotta give Trill some credit too. He's hitting a lot of halts to set up his team.
Oh, buddy, Rhea eats Zachary's Dragon though. Self-destruct in the open, and there's a fresh mech going. So they're not out of this fight yet here. Hex, the Spark. Now's the time. Godsby, he got boosted, and he gets eliminated again. Closer over the top with the blaster.
Valkyrie is a pretty good ultimate. Makes it very difficult to kill the Mercy.
There we go. Seeing some of that Quake game coming in here from AKM. Finally connecting with heads, and this is setting it up here for Dallas Fuel. The push, they will succeed. By the looks of things, Goo Shui eliminated. Now it's Godsby. Once again, the stall.
I want to watch the saddest blossom ever. Oh, never mind. You don't even get to see that.
No, you get to see a tied situation here. You get to see the Dallas Fuel tie it up 3-3 on Junkertown.
Some signs of life from the Dallas Fuel. They switch off of the meta. They go to double sniper, which on Junkertown might as well be the meta as well. Dallas will have a minute on their offense in the second half of Junkertown right after this.
So Hex, you and I were talking right now in the break. I'm pretty sure that was tectonic style dancing, like French techno dancing from the 90s. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I mean, like you were talking, I wasn't listening then.
I know. It happens.
I could not have cared any less about.
I swear I said that before.
I could not have cared any less about what you were saying.
Somewhere there.
Well, defensively, it does seem like Hangzhou is gonna hold right outside the doorway again, and why not? It served them well. Only a minute in the offensive clock for the Dallas Fuel. Dallas gonna be running Hanzo Farah to try to break this.
Well, they found success with it the first time around, and Zachary is definitely feeling the Hanzo, so why not? AKM takes down Godspeed, but that's traded. Still, anything that comes in here on the side of the offense is going to favor them. It's a long run back into this fight for the Hangzhou Spark without a res. So an opportunity here for the Dallas Fuel to get some serious push, and they're going to be into overtime before they know it. They're down to 30 seconds on the clock.
Dallas has been able to put a lot of pressure onto Goo Shui because Rhea has had his hands full with everything else. Rhea has to leave his main tank on the ground to go try to deal with all of these threats, but the threats are too constant and too omnipresent to be able to deal with all of them, so Goo Shui ends up dying a lot in these early engagements.
Godsby as well, though. Godsby's on the Widow now.
Adora's got to stay alive. Adora's going to have Blizzard.
Yeah, this is going to be Adora. The Blizzard could change it. Could be the... Oh, no, not even going to use it. Well,
hold on.
Again, they're going to hold at the first point again. That's going to be the game plan here for the Hangzhou Spark.
They're going to hold on. Right now, it's a mini battle again between Godspeed and AKM. AKM goes down.
There we go. That's the difference.
That's a terrible spot to die, too. You can't res that.
Nope.
There's no way to res that.
And
super aggressive play from AKM gets punished.
We saw that last time as well from AKM. He tried to use the barrage to close the door. Now he's got to float his way all the way back in here. No, not even. He's not even going to stay on it far. He goes to the Widow. He's going to hope to try and take the fight to Godspeed. But in the 1v1 situation, it's been Godspeed who's dominated so far on these Widows.
Everything tossed in right now. Goes over the top. Godspeed gets Trill.
Big shots. Yep, denied. You're not getting that. You're not getting that res off. And Godspeed, just for style's sake, in the end, it will be the Dallas Fuel falling short of the first point, and Godspeed styling a bit.
The Godspeed good right there. He switches off to what got them the really good early take onto Junkertown. Nice play early on, and actually pretty smart there too from the Spark, understanding that, yeah, we could have tossed in the Blizzard really early on, but let's just wait. Let's wait, because then they ended up using Transcendence, they use Self-Destruct, they use Blizzard all at the same time. They're in a single fight situation because it's overtime. Yukari has all that chaos on the cart. The shield cracks to the Self-Destruct, and then Godspeed hits Trill right away. He hits another shot, then he styles on AKM as he's been doing all match.
Yeah.
And see, this is a guy that has, you know, I had him up there with Rookie of the Year candidate. It was him and Happy who I was trying to flip a coin over. I think I might have written them both down because I'm a cheater when it comes to these kind of things. But I think he's showing you the potential now. And he did it in, you know, I was actually getting pretty high on him at the end of stage 3 too. Thought Azari was really getting there. He came into his own as far as when to be aggressive. And it's been a joy to watch. The rest of the team doing very well for the Hangzhou Spark as they try to close out the series.
I'll give it to him now, though. Widow play, so important.
It is.
And this is just how you dominate. But
I mean, I don't think you can win Junkertown without a good Widow.
Yeah.
Or at least the presence of a good Widow. You don't even have to always win the duel, but you have to win it once in a while. You know, maybe put the fear in the gods, you know?
Exactly. And a passive hold coming in here from the Dallas Fuel. Wondering what they're going to think of this on the side of the Spark. Adora's going for the Genji immediately here. It's a little bit of a change. It looks like Godspeed will stick to the Widow for now. He realizes what's going on, so he's going to be on the hunt.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure on AKM if Adora decides to dive him instead. Godspeed just takes out Zac immediately. They should be able to res this.
Yep, body block. Nicely done there. Trail doing the best he can to keep his healer up. But that's the res used now for the Dallas Fuel. You're not allowed to make any more mistakes. You're not allowed to have the greed. Godspeed, speaking of greedy, he was way out there. But AKM wasn't showing.
Yeah, the shield was cracked, so Godspeed was just going for the shot.
That time it works. AKM wins the duel versus Godspeed. Manages to hold his own. Rhea, though, coming right back into it. And this is going to be back-to-back, but with that shield, it's going to be difficult for AKM to find a shot. Has to play out in the open, and so far he's just going to get ignored because it's on Godspeed to come back into this and eventually snuff AKM. The rest of the team need to focus on winning the ground fight.
That's a really nice late kill, though. Anti-heals in. No res available. They got Zac very late in the resurrection. Note's in trouble.
It's in a tight spot. Z-Max, AKM not going to be around much longer either. Looks like they're done with his shenanigans. He's gone. And the Hangzhou Spark, in the end, the Dallas Fuel put up a fight. We went a second round, but they will be collecting this series win. 3-1 over the Dallas Fuel.
I think you better bow down.
The Hangzhou Spark have looked inconsistent at best this stage, but if you can't beat Dallas, you don't deserve top 6. Dallas' losing streak extends, signs of life early on, but when it comes down to coordinated maps, coordinated fights, other teams have simply gotten it better. Perhaps it's because Dallas keeps switching up their roster. That can help with communication, but Hangzhou Spark come in, they take care of business, still in the running for a top 6 spot.
a win is a win for them, and so far it's all about staying in there in the playoffs. For Dallas, a solid performance. AKM saved a bit of his honor there at the end as well, managing to find a few shots of his own, but there's still work to be done there. Seems like they are sticking to their game plan, though, in terms of getting these different players onto the stage. Time to open it up, Trill on the final 2 maps. So Dallas still looking for the solution that'll net them the W's.
They looked best in the double sniper, and I think it's just because that probably on this team right now that Zach is your best Hanzo, and he played a decent Hanzo and allows others some, but they don't have, I don't think they have a Hanzo and a Mei composition they can run. Enough about Dallas though. The Hangzhou Spark have put it together, taking care of business. Their schedule not the easiest going forward.
No, it is not, but we have an interview. Emily is ready with Goo Shui.
Thank you, everyone. I'm here with Goo Shui, one of your 2019 MVP candidates, and congratulations to the Spark. You guys made it so far. Now, during halftime, we were just thinking about who are your potential playoff opponents. And if Spark really is at that 6th spot, then your first opponent would be the very intimidating San Francisco Shock. But Goo Shui, who do you guys want to see in that first round? 如果我们猜测的话，我们一直在想谁会是闪电在复赛的第一个竞争对手。但是如果你们真的是第6名的话，那么你们第一个对手就是震动。但是顾雪，你希望在第1轮能面对哪个队伍呢？
我希望第1轮和泰坦打吧，因为我们上阶段差点赢到泰坦。
I hope to see the Vancouver Titans because the last time we almost beat them. Now, if the season ended today, your opponent would be the Los Angeles Gladiators, who's also your opponent tomorrow. So can you give us a little preview? What can we expect from tomorrow's match? 如果我们幻想一下，如果今天赛季就结束的话，那么你们就会打洛杉矶决斗士，然后他们正好也是你们明天的比赛，所以你能不能给我们一个小预告呢？
我们会尽全力赢下决斗士的，保我们前6的。
We're going to try to beat the Los Angeles Gladiators. We're going to beat them at any cost and keep our 6th spot. All right, somewhere next, that's all I have. Back to you guys. Thank you, Goo Shui.
Thank you, Emily, and thank you, Goo Shui, for being honest with us. Looking to play on Dallas, looking to go for a rematch with the Titans.
Yep.
Big fan of that, especially if Godspeed seems to be coming into his own now, starting to feel it.
Yeah.
Dominant Widow play, that's key.
I think at some point you're gonna have to beat these best teams anyway. Might as well get them early, get them out of the way, get on a roll. So I've always thought that's good. Dallas not mathematically eliminated somehow. I don't know how math works, so don't ask me about it. But I do know how Widowmakers work. And our player of the match, presented by Omen by HP, the Godsby. The Godsby crazy, the Godsby good. And he just went to town. I mean, look, you need a Hanzo in this meta for sure, and he was definitely getting the better of AKM early on in the Hanzo. Blizzard World really sticks out as far as individual plays, and then you get him on the Widow, on Junkertown. Like, this is what the damage meta brings in, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it wasn't this first one, it was this one here. Bam. There we go. Clean work from Godsby. Exactly what we want to see out of a Widow player, and not too much time spent on it, so it's not crazy numbers. They're not Saya level numbers, but nobody's doing Saya level numbers apart from Saya. No. So good on Godsby. Solid work.
Oh, very good number. So 36% of scopes crit accuracy, really important. 1 out of 3 shots hit people in the head, and I mean, even when those headshots don't end up being final blows, it makes your tank fall back. And then it makes all these resources go into your tanks to keep them alive because you're doing so much damage. So Godsby, a well-deserved player of the match.
Yeah, so that's going to be it. As far as our second match is concerned, we're not done yet from the studio, though. We've got a 3rd match coming up after the break. It's going to be the Seoul Dynasty versus the Shanghai Dragons. And Doa and Monte Cristo will be bringing the cast to you then. So we're taking a break, and we'll be right back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Did you see the game last night? Sinatra's gonna get MVP this year.
There's no way Sinatra wins MVP.
What are you talking about? Have you been watching the same
Thumper
game?
has been so clutch for the Titans, putting up insane numbers.
I think you're both wrong. Jonak, still the MVP. Also, first match starts in an hour. See you there.
The real MVP is the Yada Chad Amon.